Good morning. This is Pastor Zach with the Goodland United Methodist Church with your morning devotion for Tuesday, November 14th. Today I'll be reading from Proverbs 3, verses 9 and 10. Honor the Lord with your substance and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine. These two short verses tell a lot about how we are to live our lives, how we're to focus and give our attention to God. It says, honor the Lord with your substance and with the first fruits of all your produce. And then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine. If we offer over the first parts of our lives, not only the resources we have, but our own energies and our own attentions, then our lives will be filled with plenty. It'll be bursting around us and with abundance. This idea all comes out of the tradition of the first fruits festivals in the Old Testament, where they gather up the first things that they had harvested from their fields and brought them to the temple, to the priest, and bow down before God, thanking God for the provisions. They came to honor God and thank God for what has taken place already, that they were able to even grow anything and have any produce. The Israelites would assemble at the temple in Jerusalem, bringing with them the first of their fields. As the time of harvest approached across the land, even before they regularly started harvesting, and a single bundle of grain was cut on each farm and toted off to the temple. There it was waved before God as an offering, along with 2 loaves of bread that were baked from the newly harvested grain. And to broaden the impact of the event, they brought 2 male lambs who were brought from the first castings of each flock. As these gifts were presented to God in the temple courts, the men danced around the altar and carried the smoke of the gifts towards heaven. And the crowds of women, children, and men too old to jump around formed a larger circle around them, singing psalms. It became a great celebration. They would go out into their fields, and when they saw the first budding, the first growth of the fruits, they would mark it to know that that was going to be the first fruits. And when they would harvest it, they would take it to the temple. Our lives should be the same. The first of everything we should give to God, and then the rest will fall into place. That if we give God our first fruits, if we give God our utmost attention, if we give God our first focus, then our lives will be filled with plenty. We'll be led to a life of abundance, as Jesus promised. That we give it first, and then we receive. That's how God calls us to live our lives. Have a blessed day.